And we're back.
Yay!
Welcome to the Micheaux Mission. 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Vincent Williams, and I'm joined as always by my partner.
Hey, holla at your boy. This is Len. How you doing?
And this evening, we will spend some time with a film that comes up fairly often, but a film that we have not watched yet, 1972's The Final COMEDOWN. A pretty much forgotten, obscure film from the early 70s.
Yes.
Starring Billy Dee Williams and one D'Urville Martin.
That's right. We're going 1 degree of D'Urville Martin. Woohoo!
But before we get to the COMEDOWN, what's up, Lynn? How are you?
I'm doing great. Vincent, how are you?
Yeah, I am also well.
And I hope that each and every one of you are doing well out there as you are watching us live streaming to YouTube from Young Chunk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace, to all points north, south, east, and west, and to each and every one of you out there in the chat. Hello, missionaries.
Good evening, one and all.
We weren't here last week.
We weren't.
And in that week off, batteries recharged.
Yes, absolutely.
I found myself watching a lot of stuff on TV.
Yeah, okay.
You
all
know,
right.
a lot of stuff. Started catching up on stuff. George Kimono will be very happy to hear this. I'm totally caught up on the new season of Star Trek: Strange New World.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Have you started that?
I have.
It's a quirky season.
It's
real quirky. It's real quirky. Comedy.
They have the finish line in sight.
Yeah, but it's still 2 seasons away.
I mean, I thought it was one more season after this one, and it's short.
No, it's one more season after this one, and then a shortened
short
5th season.
Well, regardless, the finish line is in sight. They've settled in.
Yeah.
They've decided this is going to be the fun trek.
That's right.
Right.
They have. Or at least to start off the season, which I'm not mad at.
Sure.
I'm mad at him for that. So I'm enjoying that. Watching Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, watching Anson Mount and his hair.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Got me thinking, hey, there was another Anson Mount show that I loved because of Anson Mount and because of his hair. And that was Hell on Wheels.
Okay.
Which is the Western that was on AMC probably now, maybe over 10 years ago.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's been a minute.
But it's on Hulu.
I'm glad that's streaming.
I started watching that again.
Okay.
I enjoyed it the first time around. Watching it again, fell right back in love with this show. Anson Mount, Common, and probably the best thing he's ever done.
You have been consistent in your analysis of Common in this show.
It's the best thing he's ever done. Colm Meaney.
Okay.
From continuing the Star Trek connection. Absolutely brilliant as the kind of antagonist of this series.
Okay.
I don't know if you watched it the first time around.
I haven't watched it the first or second time.
I watched it from beginning to end first time around, and I'm really enjoying it, falling back in love with that show. And I've been bursting to tell you about all this stuff.
Okay.
I randomly turned on Netflix about 3 days ago, and there was this show, animated show called Pantheon.
Okay.
It was an AMC Plus. Shout out to AMC Plus. It was an AMC Plus animated series that dealt with not artificial intelligence. It dealt with UI, which is uploaded intelligence.
Yeah.
You know, uploading ourselves,
your consciousness
to the cloud,
Yeah.
and all of the existential and philosophical and dire consequences of doing so. In this animated, not film, it's a series that, despite its concept, is really very grounded.
Okay.
In the way that it talks about this, and it's told through the viewpoint of these two teenagers, yet it gets far afield. It's far reaching. Of course, you can imagine it gets into some conspiratorial type of situations.
Sure.
But it has very interesting things to say about grief.
Okay.
To say about relationships, both romantic and family. It is smart. It is intelligent. It only ran for 16 episodes across 2 seasons.
All right.
And both seasons are available on Netflix right now.
Okay.
I turned it on let's say early Friday afternoon. And by that late or early Saturday morning, I had binged the whole thing.
All right.
And absolutely was floored by this show.
All right. On the list.
Absolutely floored. You have to check this out, man.
Okay. Sounds like it's up my alley.
I think you will love it.
Very Black Mirror-ish.
But I think that if time allows for you to watch this with your daughter, you know, if she's still home, or maybe just tell her about it, y'all can be watching. I think there's a lot of conversation about father-daughter relationships. Okay. In this series. Absolutely excellent.
On the list.
Absolutely excellent. So check that out. And last thing. I'm sorry to hit you with all of this.
A lot of TV.
Because I was on Hulu.
Yeah.
You know, and I binged a few episodes of Hell on Wheels. And I said, all right, because it's a Western. Yeah. And it's violent. I was like, all right, that's enough of that for today.
Okay.
All right, let's.
Got to pace yourself.
Pace myself. Turned off. But lo and behold, they uploaded the brand new kind of like reboot of King of the Hill.
Yes, they did.
From Mike Judge. I started watching that.
Start watching that.
And I loved King of the Hill. And over the pandemic, I had watched it again from beginning to end. It's like, man, this is such an amazing show. I love this show. Watching this reboot, which picks up from the series ostensibly about 10 or 12.
Right, because they went to Saudi Arabia. And now
Saudi Arabia. Their son is now a chef, you know. It's such an excellent show.
It
was funny. It was heartfelt. It was everything. I was like, yo, this is amazing how great this is. Shows like Frasier, which tried to reboot, could learn something from the makers of King of the Hill.
Now, do you think it helps that it's animated so they could control when they pick up? I've watched a couple episodes, and I did think it was a very strategic choice that they pick up maybe 10 years, like not even 10 years, because I think the kids were maybe 14, 15 when the show ended, and now they're 21.
Right. Well, actually, Bobby was actually probably a little younger than that.
Okay.
When it ended. There's an argument to be made, like how much did he really age throughout that series? Right. So them aging him to 21 feels like he probably aged about a good 10 years. Right. I think that it being animated certainly does help. Yes. Because while they can show some of the age in the illustration, you know, it doesn't show as hard as it would in real life. So yes, it does make it an easier leap. I give you that.
Right. And also they can, like, even the because the original run went off, what, 20 years ago?
I think 15.
Like 50, you're right, 15 years ago. So even that, like this notion that they've been gone 5 or 6 years. Like, I hear what you're saying, but they are kind of juking the stats.
They are. They're fudging with it, yeah.
Which I'm on my umpteenth rewatch of The Wire. So now I'll be doing all Wire talk for the next 2 months.
Oh man, you know what? I actually was tempted to pull my Wire pin. Yeah. I think like a couple of days ago went to HBO. I was like, the Wire's sitting right there. Yeah. And I said, no, I lean on a Wire too much. Let me find something else. And
we watched Treme, and then after Treme, we actually went Because we watched Treme after Homicide. Like, we finished Homicide.
Oh, you finished Homicide?
Finished Homicide. Watched Treme. Actually watched The Corner, which is bleak.
Yes.
Like, we actually forgot how bleak The Corner is.
You finished The Corner?
Yeah, I mean, it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, but I couldn't.
Yeah, it's pretty bleak.
I think I watched an episode and a half.
Here's the thing, and I'll give y'all the heads up if anyone is like, oh, I'll watch The Corner. And they're all on YouTube. Like, they're not really streaming, but they're all on YouTube. Like, you watch The Corner, and you know The Corner is based on real people.
Yes.
So you're like, hey, I wonder what happened to them in real life.
Oh, God.
There are no happy endings.
On The Corner.
There are no happy endings.
There are no happy endings on The Corner.
It's like, oh, wow, well, this ended in 1990. I wonder what's happened in the 20 years since. And then you, like, Google everybody.
No.
And it's just...
No, bruh. Don't do that.
Like, even the brother that Sean Nelson played, because remember, he was acting for a while, and he was on Homicide. So I just knew, oh, wow, well, he's... No,
bruh.
So...
No.
But yeah, TV.
So, but I'm curious because we haven't talked since you were kind of like stopped Homicide. You finished it. So what do you think?
I mean, you know.
Including the movie, right?
Including the movie. It's funny. The movie was sort of this kind of awkward fit because everybody comes back.
Yes.
And it's so just sort of, you know, like the difference between the classic cast and the cast towards the end is so blatant.
Yes.
But as people who love the form, as people who love the history of television, knowing the backstory and knowing how they were trying to, you know, frankly, just keep the thing on.
Yeah. You
understand the moves that they made.
Yeah.
And it is, we were joking, like the first season of Homicide, there were barely like murders. It was like, you know, something would happen and Pimbleton would spend 3 episodes just waxing poetic and, you know, what is the nature of life and this, that, and the other. And then by the end, it's helicopters and shootouts and people running into operating rooms. But, you know, they're trying to
make it
stay relevant.
Yeah, very true. I will say, I also, and this may be a little bit ago, finished my rewatch of Men of a Certain Age.
Is that streaming?
That is streaming.
Is it? Love that. What's it streaming on? All right, we'll talk. But that's good to know it's streaming. I didn't know it was streaming.
I want to say it's actually, I think it's on HBO.
Yeah, I thought
it was a TNT show.
Yeah, I thought that was Lost Media.
You realize, first of all, one, like we've mentioned here before, everyone loves Raymond. I'm
Ray Romano.
Ray Romano. I was drawing a blank on his name. Ray Romano, really excellent actor.
Wish he acted more. Scott Bakula?
Scott Bakula, definitely a national treasure.
Yeah.
A national treasure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And boy, does the world miss Andre.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, man, the work he puts in on this show.
Yeah, oh yeah.
How vulnerable he is on this show about his relationship, especially his relationship with his father, which kind of like is like the main thrust of the 2 seasons. His story in these 2 seasons. It is amazing, and it is actually amazing that this show, which hoped to get a 3rd season but unfortunately didn't.
Sure.
The bow it was still able to tie up with their story.
Absolutely.
It was really, really touching, riveting stuff.
Who played his father? Do you remember off the top of your head?
Oh, I can't.
It's all right. We talk about this.
He's a name you'll know.
Yeah, it's 7:15. We've been
all right.
Sitting here talking about TV.
If we've been talking about TV.
Yes.
Enough about TV. Let's hear from you.
Yes.
Missionaries. That means your emails, or as we call them,
missives from the missionaries. So what else is going on, Lynn?
We have emails, Vincent.
Ooh, missives from the missionaries. Ooh. Missives from missionaries.
All right. We've had a flood of emails over the last couple of weeks. Thank you so much, missionaries. Only going to be able to go through a couple of them tonight for time consideration. Vincent, are you ready?
I am ready.
We have a email from Michael Kettner.
Hey, Mikel.
Greetings, Len and Vincent. I'm currently listening to your Little Man episode
Okay.
and had to write in to say two things.
Okay.
First, Vincent, you are absolutely right. A Streetcar Named Desire is amazing.
It is.
And secondly, I was really surprised you didn't connect Marlon Brando to D'Urville Martin by way of Rod Steiger. Marlon Brando is on the waterfront with Rod Steiger. Rod Steiger in the heat of the night with Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier and the Guest Who Coming to Dinner with D'Urville Martin. Am I missing something? Was one of those movies not released in theaters? Thanks for all you do and keep up the good work. Michael Kettner.
No, Mikel. Oftentimes there are various and sundry routes to take, and quite honestly, sometimes I pick movies I won't talk about in the routes. In this case, Streetcar Named Desire.
Yes.
As opposed to On the Waterfront, which, as I mentioned in the episode, I like, but
Not as much as
not
Streetcar.
as much as Streetcar Named Desire.
Understood.
So there you go.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have an email from Nicole Court.
Hey, what's up, Nicole?
Greetings to Len, Vincent, and missionaries. Before I start, I want to send my condolences also to Malcolm Jamal Warner and his family, 54 years young. This one hurts.
Yes,
Such a
he
handsome.
does. Yeah.
I want to have a brief woman moment to talk about Nas and Q-Tip. Queens men, Queens gets the moment.
Okay.
The first time I saw and heard them rap, their delivery, speech, and cadence made me melt in my chair.
Okay. All right.
They're both still fine.
All right.
But when they were both younger, they were delicious and good looking.
All right.
Both my crushes to this day. I'm going to go listen to One Love off Illmatic. The question is for both of you,
Okay.
but really, Vincent.
Okay. All right.
I want to hear you both reflect on first listening to A Tribe Called Quest's first album,
Oh, my goodness.
People's
gracious.
Instinctive Travels in the Paths of Rhythm. As you both know, this album turns 35 this year.
Yes, it does.
Truly a game changer with the sample-heavy antithesis rap about positivity, black pride, and of course, black women and booty. Bonito Applebum, Can I Kick It?
Mm-hmm.
Luck of Lucian, Youthful Expression, Description of a Fool still hits to this day.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry for the long email. This is nothing. And have a great rest of the week, Nicole. Well, this really is an email for you, Vincent.
Yeah, because this was a canon event. I'm sure I've told this story before, because this is actually a canon event in my life. Just a little background for our younger missionaries who may not, when they were born, it was just native tongues. When native tongues came out in the late 80s, it was, the Jungle Brothers really introduced the concept, and they said, we had this crew. And it was initially, it was Jungle Brothers, it was De La Soul, and A Tribe Called Quest. And Jungle Brothers, and I believe the first time I ever heard Q-Tip was on Black is Black.
Yes.
The song Black is Black, the Jungle Brothers. And he said, I'm Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest. And then when De La Soul's album came out, 3 Feet High and Rising, Q-Tip is on Buddy.
Yep.
Now, Fife is on the remix, but Fife is not on the album version. And this is important because Q-Tip was also on Buddy talking about, I'm Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest. So we had a running joke that Q-Tip was actually delusional. Like, he kept talking about he was in this group. And it was
there ain't no such group.
It was like, who is this group he's talking about when it's just him? So that's the background of Q-Tip. My roommate at the time was this dude named Brian, Smooth B, and he was a DJ. Smooth B. And he was a DJ at the campus station. And
what was the campus station? You remember the call letters?
Okay. Maybe WM. It was University of Maryland station.
Okay.
But part of the reason I don't remember is because I didn't listen to it. No. Look, this is pertinent. Brian was the only black DJ.
Okay, Smooth.
You know, the rest of it was like white boys and rock and this. And, you know, I like it how I like it, but I just wasn't going to listen to random white college DJ.
Mm-hmm.
So Brian got all of the black promos.
Gotcha.
Because he was the black dude. So me and Brian were roommates. Brian always had a pile of promos sitting there. And I came home one afternoon, and the way Maryland worked is, at the time, I'm sure it's different now, is the dining hall opened at like 5. And, you know, I'd gotten back to the dorm like, you know, 2:30 or 3, and, you know, it's not like I was going to study.
Of course.
So I said, you know, what am I going to do? And I said, oh, it's the promo for People's Instinctive Travels and Paths of Rhythm, which is Tribe Called Quest's first album. So I said, well, let me see what this delusional Negro Q-Tip. Like I thought it was going to be like an hour and a half of Q-Tip talking to himself. And Lynn, all I remember from that day is I put it, because it was a record.
Yeah.
I put the record on.
Pieces of wax.
And I sat there and I listened to the first side. And I got up and I flipped it over and listened to the second side. And then I got up
Flipped it over.
and flipped it back over to the first side. And I didn't eat that night. Like the dining hall closed and I just sat there. And I had never in my life heard anything like this. Like I liked hip hop, but like I wasn't a hip hop dude at all until A Tribe Called Quest.
Really? Wow.
And
that's college.
Just, I mean, everything that everyone has ever said about A Tribe Called Quest. You know, Q-Tip's lyricism, Fife's lyricism, the production, the way the songs fit together. It changed everything for me. Like everything clicked.
Really?
And it is very much one of the albums that changed my life. So that's my People's Instinctive Travels and Paths to Rhythm. And then, you know, as I know I've said this because I say it all the time, their follow-up, Low End Theory, is my Deserted Island album. Like if I only have to listen to one album for the rest of my life, it's Low End Theory. So yeah, Tribe Called Quest is absolutely everything to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you will get an opportunity to speak more about A Tribe Called Quest when we get to September, when we turn to Doc to School.
Yeah.
Because
I know.
I will be selecting
Beats,
Rhymes, and Beats, Rhymes, and Life?
Yeah, Beats, Rhymes, and Life. Yeah, Michael Rappaport's documentary, which I would never choose.
I know.
You know I find it hard. Well, I guess we'll talk about it in September.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm choosing it.
Because my tears.
Because I do.
My tears. Oh, your tears are so delicious. Yeah.
So I have been looking forward to that since June. That's when I was like, ooh. Because I actually started to watch it and I was like, no, I'm saving this.
So, you've seen it before though, right?
Oh yeah.
You know De La Soul are my spirit animals on there. They're like, what are y'all doing?
I know.
What are y'all doing?
I know. Because that's what everybody screaming at the screen.
Like, what are y'all doing?
I know. All right. But that's in September. That's coming in September.
Like Martin Lawrence and Boomerang. Like, I just want to come out and hug them. Like, we all supposed to be boys. All right. Don't put me through that trauma in September.
All right, let's continue with our emails. We got an email from Michael Sykes.
What's up, Michael?
Hello, Len, Vincent, fellow missionaries. I loved y'all Coolie High review, and it hit the mark. Incredible job. Vincent, you cut Cochise and Preach some slack for their teenage mistakes. Fair enough, they're just kids.
Yes.
But where do you stand on Damon? Do you give him a pass because he's 17?
No, Damon.
If so, why?
No, because Damon was actually a danger to people.
Indeed.
Yeah, Damon, and Damon is a character who ended up going in the army, right?
I believe, yes.
Right. Like the other dudes got killed in some street gang violence, but then Damon ended up in the army.
Right. Michael continues.
Yeah, I like
Damon murdered an innocent kid with a promising future, blood on his hands, no remorse, pure cowardice, escaping to Germany as an army sergeant, running from his guilt.
Yeah.
Here's why Damon deserves no mercy.
Okay.
1, he brutally murdered Cochise, who had everything ahead of him.
Yes, he did.
2, he betrayed his friends, escalating petty jealousy into senseless violence.
Yes, he did.
3, he avoided consequences, hiding behind his army uniform while Preach and others face real fallout. Damon got no redemption. Violence destroyed potential, and he's emblematic of that. No forgiveness, no excuse. I hate his character so damn much. If I ever see Damon in the streets, I'm just going to black out and go poster on him.
All right, well.
Just joking, but for real, my hatred for Damon burns hotter than a jalapeno in a sauna.
Okay.
Forgive me, it's just that movie always gets to me. As always, stay strong, stay black, stay real. Right on, brothers. Love your fan, Michael Lockett.
I agree.
Excuse me, Michael Sykes.
I agree. Damon is terrible in Coolie High.
He is.
My brother Damon is wonderful. But Damon in Coolie High is terrible.
He is.
All right.
He is. And I have a friend named Damon in Las Vegas, and he's a cool.
There you go.
There you go.
They should get together as the Society of Damons and hunt down Damon.
Have we really heard from that other Damon since?
We have not.
So perhaps they have.
Yeah.
They've taken care of our light work.
There you go.
We have one more email.
Okay.
We heard from Michael Sykes.
Mm-hmm.
Only fair.
Tale of
hear
two
from
Michaels.
Michael.
Tale of two Michaels.
Greetings, my brothers and fellow missionaries. There aren't too many films that might be more polar opposites than the two films my personal mission took me on this week. Little Man is, to paraphrase Commander Webb, trash.
Okay.
This Wayans outing really does come off as dispassionate writing and creativity. After having a presence and the ability to learn from I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, Don't Be a Menace, Scary Movie 2, and White Chicks, it seems like they didn't put their knowledge to good use. Maybe this was a case of a mortgage payment flick, but even if it's a minuscule gain, every project should be better than the last, in my opinion. 180 degrees from that, the Wayback Machine dropped me with you two as you basked in the glow of Oscar Micheaux's Body and Soul.
Yeah.
This is exceptional filmmaking and storytelling. It's beautifully done and compelling, even though we are missing footage. The story and storytelling are vivid, even as a silent pick. Vincent's comparison of Micheaux to Tyler Perry initially made me want to exit the podcast stage right, but I pumped the brakes. And as much as I have issues with almost everything Tyler Perry does, primarily because he is not evolving in his storytelling and stories, the brother does deliver for us. I always look at the films and music that enter the public domain each year, and glancing at the list, I see the following are there: Within Our Gates, Body and Soul, and The Emperor Jones. If you two had to remake one of these, which one would you pick? Who would you cast? And who would you want to direct it? All the best, Michael Lockett.
Okay.
Within Our Gates, Body and Soul, The Emperor Jones. Well, I'm going to say right off the top of my head, I would say it would be interesting to see The Emperor Jones remade. I mean, that's a tall order. Stepping in the footsteps of Paul Robeson.
Now, who is going to play the role is the question.
The first person that comes to my mind who I would be very interested to see what they would do with it is Brian Tyree Henry.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice. I was good because I thought Emperor Jones is my choice too, but I was thinking Winston Duke.
Winston Duke is a good choice as well. And he probably, on a physical level, probably embodies Paul Robeson a little bit.
I mean, I think even the performance. Do you think Brian Tyree Henry can go big?
Oh, absolutely. I really do. I really think he does. I really think he can. Because I think that he is, I don't know how much you remember from the movie Widows, but in Widows, he walks the line of trying to be a little erudite, but then has to go big in one scene. And I think he pulls it off.
Okay.
I think that he also plays a tempered big in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I think he could.
Director?
I mean, the beautiful thing is that we now have like a laundry list of directors to choose from.
We do.
And it's always easy to say Ryan Coogler, Barry Jenkins.
I mean, Coogler's the obvious fit.
He's the obvious fit, but you know what? I'm going to go off that beaten path and I'm going to say Lena Waithe.
Why?
Because I think I would be interested to see what she would do with that story, and also with Brian Tyree Henry. And I actually want to see her, because in my mind, if we're rebooting this is with a pretty substantial budget.
Oh yeah, this has got to be a big movie.
Yeah, I want to see her with that budget.
Yeah, I agree with you, but frankly, she gonna have to prove herself before I hand her the budget for Emperor Jones.
Fair enough.
And that is why I'm gonna go, like we said, Ryan Coogler would be the obvious choice, but I think there is a strain of the plot in there that leans to psychological horror.
Ooh.
So I'm giving it to Jordan Peele.
Okay.
Because the other thing about Jordan Peele is he can do the small scenes.
He can.
The psychological. So he can do big psychological horror
Yep.
and small psychological horror. So
Yeah.
I'm going with Jordan Peele.
That's a good call.
I will go along with Brian Tyree Henry.
Okay.
Although I still like Jordan. I still like Winston Duke.
Still like Winston Duke. Okay.
Like M'Baku plus the
Us.
the tethered in Us. In my mind, is actually Emperor. Like that's like if M'Baku and the tethered from Us have a baby, it's actually the Emperor Jones.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I cast it.
Okay.
Brian Tyree Henry.
All right.
You produced
All
it.
right, yeah.
You got Jordan.
You got Jordan Peele. All right.
All right. We'll find a role for Winston.
Okay, Hollywood, make that happen.
And remember
Right.
where you heard it.
Sure.
That's what's most
All
important.
right.
Heck with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the emails
All right.
for today.
All right.
We're going to get to more emails. And if you want to email us, if you want us, have us share your thoughts with everyone out there, please feel free. Hit us up at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUXMISSION@gmail.com. Also, if you're in the Philadelphia area and you have some time to chill, August 13th, that's right, next Wednesday, not tomorrow, next Wednesday, August 13th, the Micheaux Mission, along with the Be Real Black Cinema Club, our good friend Stephanie Watts, will be returning to Bryn Mawr Film Institute for our screening of Rush Hour.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's right. Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker. It's the first one.
It's the first one.
Do you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
That's right.
It's Rush Hour.
That's right.
On the big screen, 7 p.m. Wednesday, August 13th, Bryn Mawr Film Institute. Tickets are on sale right now at brynmarfilm.org. Be in the place for the free pretzels, be in the place for Rush Hour, and be in the place so that you can join all of the other missionaries there to select the film that we will be screening in October for Horror Month.
Can I be transparent with you about something? Because Michael mentioned Tyler Perry. Something else that I did. Can I tell you what I spent an embarrassing long time doing? So I was, just sort of on the bike, kind of exercising. I was watching. I started Medea's Destination Wedding.
Because
I'm going to tell you why. You know how I feel about the Tyler Perry material. Like, I feel like we have to know it. If we're going to do this, we need to know it. But B, I am morbidly fascinated with the parallel story of Medea's nephew, Brian.
oh my God.
The character that Tyler Perry actually plays, starting with Diary of a Mad Black Woman, because remember his wife was a crackhead, and then Jesus saved her through the power of singing. Remember she busted the church at the end and was singing? Well, in the background of a lot of the Medea movies,
Yes.
it's been his life.
Yes.
So Medea's...
And his little sweaters.
Right. Well, Medea's Destination Wedding, the wedding is his daughter. I was about to say you remember, but maybe you don't remember. Remember, Brian had 2 kids.
No, I don't.
Well, you do remember one because one of them, when we watched Boo, it was the daughter that was going to the frat house.
Okay.
Remember?
Yes.
So now that daughter is getting married.
Of course.
But I feel so. Look, y'all. I'm sharing.
Just say space.
Right.
Just say space. Okay. Fair enough.
So Brian's ex-wife has gotten remarried to a rich dude.
Of course.
And the rich dude is, there was, because I didn't finish it. Like, I only watched, yeah.
This is part 1.
Well, my workout was over so I could get off the bike. I didn't know that his wife had gotten remarried. Like, I missed that update. So, Lynn and God, for like 15 minutes, I was trying to figure out which movie did Brian's crackhead ex-wife get remarried? And for those of you that are wondering, it actually happened in Boo 2.
You figured it out.
Oh, come on now. You know I was going to figure it out. Like, you know I was going to figure it out. You know I shut down everything until I figured it out. Like Brian said, your rich husband. I said, rich husband? Where'd she get a rich husband? I thought you had custody of the kids because y'all had gotten a divorce. Because remember, I keep saying because you remember. Because remember, they got a divorce.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not up on...
You're not... Here's a bad thing. There's a Wikipedia entry called the Medea Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, that's not the MCU that I keep track of.
So,
but apparently...
someone brought up Tyler Perry, so there you go.
my God.
That is also.
Oh my God. You can never
I know.
get on me about anything I watch
Look.
ever again.
Look, I love Us. All
No.
of Us. No,
You-
I
you-
do.
you-
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. But Vincent.
And you know, and you know, in case you're wondering, because I'm sure you're wondering, and I haven't seen the whole film. I've only seen about a half hour, but it's terrible.
Oh, is it?
It is. It's terrible. It's pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible.
But it's waiting for you.
But it's not for me. It's also not for me. I'm just.
Yet you will have to finish it.
I mean, right. Well, you see what happened. I messed up. I slipped. Like, we watched Boo, but we didn't watch Boo 2, the sequel to Boo, and I missed an important development.
So wait a minute. So now that you have discovered the Medea cinematic universe,
Yes.
are you now going to watch the film
Watch him in order. Watch him.
so that you can then finish Destination Wedding?
Look,
Well informed.
I'm telling you, it's
And
like
avoid any spoilers.
It's like Medea is doing her hello, and she's got the wig and the dress on, and the watermelon boobs are jumping up and down, and she's doing all this stuff. But then in the background, like Brian is like, I am a lawyer, and I have custody of the kids. And then like there's a development.
No, I get it.
So you know that's.
I get it.
I'm always like, well, what's going on over there?
I get it.
What's going on?
Okay. So I guess we'll be going to more Medea screenings now. Is that what you're saying? I should RSVP for more Medea screenings?
Does Tyler Perry have screenings? Like, you're joking, but I don't think he does screenings.
Not a lot of them, but we've had a couple.
No. I mean Medea screenings.
We've had a couple opportunities, but I didn't because I didn't know. But now that I know,
Look, I'm gonna say this: if I go, you going? Like, we both going?
oh, you can't make me go.
I can indeed make you go for the mission. We are on the mission. I'm sorry, I didn't. We can move on. But you said he said, like, we were catching up, and I was thinking in my mind, should I bring up the fact that I spent 15 minutes trying to figure out when Brian's crackhead ex-wife got remarried in the Medea cinematic universe? I said nah, but then Michael brought up Oscar Micheaux, and
Now I don't feel bad about the surprise I'm about to drop on you. As we turn to the Game of Kings.
Game of Kings.
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin. Degrees of D'Urville Martin, where I give Vincent 2 actors, and he has 6 movies or less to connect them to D'Urville Martin, the co-star of the film that we're reviewing tonight, The Final Comedown from 1972, as we celebrate 1 degree of D'Urville Martin. So, in light of that, Vincent, I have a bit of a curveball to throw at you.
Okay. All right.
Since we are already at 1 degree of D'Urville Martin,
Okay.
it's no fun to do another 5 degrees of D'Urville Martin. So let's do 6 degrees of Billy Dee Williams.
Okay. All right.
All right?
Okay.
So, in 6 films or less,
Okay.
connect Billy Dee Williams, the star of The Final Comedown,
All right.
to these famous Billies.
Billy's to Billy.
Starting with Billy Crudup.
Why do I know him?
You know him. It's from a film you don't like.
I was about to say, isn't he in your dumbass Watchmen movie? What? Yeah. All right.
Why, yes, he is in The Watchmen.
Okay. All right. So I got to get to him.
I mean, he's in other films.
No.
Do you know any of the other actors in Watchmen?
Yeah, because you know the one who infuriates me the most in Watchmen is Patrick Wilson as Night Owl.
Yeah,
because he's all buff. Yeah,
buff is relative.
I mean, okay, whatever. All right. All right, let me see how I can put this together.
Billy Dee Williams has a very extensive filmography.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Billy Dee Williams is in... All right, so this is what we do. Billy Dee Williams.
Now, first, you gotta ask yourself, how many Patrick Wilson movies do you know?
Well, I'm going to Aquaman.
Oh, I forgot he was that. Yeah, that wasn't my first choice.
I'm going to Aquaman, which then that gives me Michael Beach, Yahya Abdul, Mateen, and Jason Momoa. Okay. Billy Dee Williams is in Batman with Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is in The Flash with Ben Affleck.
Yes.
Ben Affleck is, of course, in Justice League with Jason Momoa. And then Jason Momoa is in Aquaman with Patrick Wilson, who is in Watchmen with Billy Crudup.
Very good.
All right.
Well done, Vincent.
All right, so that's one Billy Dee Williams.
That's one Billy Dee Williams
Who's
down.
my second Billy?
Your second Billy. In 6 films or less. Connect Billy Dee Williams to Billy Porter.
Oh, Billy Porter's hard because he's not been in a lot of movies.
That's true.
So he's in that movie because he was in like a little art house joint, like called like My Son, Our Son, or something.
Second one.
Yeah. But probably the target rich one is Cinderella. The problem with Cinderella is I don't know who else is in Cinderella. Who's in Cinderella? Like I have no idea who's in Cinderella with him. Like, you know, already throwing me off with a new dude I'm connecting.
I know. I'm just reading the names. And I'm finding the names that you would know.
Yeah.
Besides Billy. There's 3 that you could use, I think.
All right, give me one, and I'll see what I can do with the one.
Okay. Idina Menzel, and I'm just reading these in order.
Okay.
You think you can work with her?
Let me try.
Okay.
Let me try with Idina Menzel. Oh. There you go. No. Oh, I'm mixing up my British dudes.
Idina Menzel, primarily known for, you know.
No. I was going to use probably
originating the
probably
role,
doing Wicked.
the role of Elphaba
Yeah.
in Wicked.
But she has a cameo in the movie,
Yes.
which then gets me to Cynthia Erivo.
Yeah. But there's other stuff to use besides that.
Mm-hmm.
Because she is associated with another great musical movie.
Is she in Rent? I thought she was just on Broadway. I didn't.
No, she was just on the Broadway.
Yeah, she wasn't in the movie.
No,
So I can't use her.
I wasn't thinking of that.
I mean, what else? What is it? Rent and Frozen and.
Well, Frozen.
Oh, I didn't. Right. Yeah, but I don't know who else is in Frozen. But this is how you get from Billy Dee Williams. Who else is in it?
Who else is in?
So you said Adina Menzel. Who else we got
it in
Cinderella?
Cinderella. The next name that I think would help you is Minnie Driver.
Oh, I can definitely get to Minnie Drive.
Yeah. Her name just happened to come
Okay, so
after Idina.
So this is how we get to Minnie Driver. Billy Dee Williams. Oh no, that's a little. Minnie Driver is in Goodwill. I'm getting. Okay, so Billy Dee Williams. Minnie Drivers.
We're watching this in real time, ladies.
Right.
It's an amazing
That's a little convoluted too.
to see Vincent at work.
Billy Dee Williams. Billy Dee Williams is in a couple of things. Just how am I connecting them to Minnie Driver? Because Minnie Driver. See, the problem with Minnie Driver is that I only have her with Grosse Point Blank. And then she's in like Goodwill Hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Getting at the Billy Dee Williams is a bit of a leap.
And I believe she's a voice in Tarzan.
Yeah, but I don't know who else is in that.
What's his name? Brandon? Not Brandon.
Yeah. Is that it for the... Who else is...
The mummy
else?
guy. The last name is Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
You can definitely get there.
Right. Well, he's in that time frame. Okay. So we'll go Billy Dee Williams to... Yeah, but see, even that...
Hold on, just go Halle Berry.
Billy Dee Williams is... What is he in that would connect me? You see, the problem with Billy Dee Williams is... so the Halle Berry... See, even that... See, the Billy Dee Williams lane is 70s black. Okay. Billy Dee Williams is in The Final Comedown with Derville Martin.
Imagine.
Yeah. Derville Martin.
It's such a cheat.
You know what? You're right.
That's such a cheat.
You're all right. You're right. I won't use it. I won't use that. Although you didn't say I couldn't use this movie.
I didn't.
You didn't say I couldn't use this movie. So let's say Derville Martin. Billy Dee Williams.
I'm seeing Deborah Battle in the chat is saying that Idina was in Rent the movie.
Okay.
I didn't think she was in that. Was she?
I didn't think she was. Oh, you know what? She is in it.
But she's not playing the role that she originally
I think
did?
she is.
Is she?
Actually,
Okay,
yeah.
maybe
I think she is
Okay.
actually. Billy Dee Williams is in. Who are we trying to get to?
Billy Porter and Cinderella.
And Billy Porter's in.
So you're trying to ultimately get to Pierce Brosnan.
Right. Or Idina Menzel.
Or Minnie Driver.
All right. So, all right. Let's go ahead. Let me just go ahead and lock in and do this. Billy Dee Williams is in Billy Dee Williams is in the Scott Joplin story with Margaret Avery. Margaret Avery is in The Color Purple with Lawrence Fishburne.
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence Fishburne is in Biker Boys with Lisa Bonet. Lisa Bonet is in High Fidelity.
With Minnie Driver.
No.
With
my man. I just forget the star of
John Cusack.
John Cusack.
That's right.
John Cusack is in
Grosse Pointe Blank.
Grosse Pointe Blank with Minnie Driver. And then Minnie Driver is in Cinderella.
With?
Billy Porter. There you go.
Very good.
There you go.
Very good.
There you go.
Well done.
Billy to Billy.
Billy to Billy. Well done.
Billy to Billy.
You have stumped them all.
Look, you changed the route.
I did.
You changed the route, so I
did, but
to,
you
had to right, and I didn't use D'Urville Martin.
No, you did not. You did not. Well done.
All right.
All right. Now,
All right.
it is time for our review.
Yeah.
Speaking of, the final come down. We are ready when you are.
The Final Come Down, a 1972 film written and directed by Oscar Williams, is an examination of racism in the United States and depicts a shootout between a radical black nationalist group and the police, with the backstory leading up to the shootout told through flashbacks. Starring D'Urville Martin and a special appearance by Raymond St. Jacques. This is a film that not only starred but was produced by his production company, Billy Dee Williams. This was the choice of Lynn Webb. Lynn, what did you think of The Final Come Down?
Well, before I tell you what I thought about this, this film comes out in 1972. 2 years before this, 1970, a little film directed by Arthur Hiller comes out called The Out of Towners, starring Jack Lemmon.
Yeah.
And it is a comedy about this couple who has to go to New York for the husband is going for this big job interview, and everything in the world that could go wrong with them during this trip goes wrong.
Sure.
It is one of my probably top 20 favorite movies of all time.
Sure. Billy Wilder?
No, it's not Billy Wilder.
Okay.
It's actually based on, I think, maybe Neil Simon story, but Arthur Hiller directed it. Absolutely hilarious, right? And no, I didn't see it in 1970.
Okay.
A joke. But I saw it like sometime probably in the 80s.
Okay.
When I saw it. I fell in love with it, but watching it, it's not the first time that I saw Billy Dee Williams, but it's the earliest that I have seen of Billy Dee Williams.
Sure.
And I have since learned that this is very early in his career as a actor on film. It's not long after he did some TV stuff, and then boom, he has a small role but funny role going back and forth with Jack Lemmon in this film as this guy that works at the airport named Clifford. Funny bit. Remember it to this day as being one of the better things I've seen Billy Dee Williams do, because he comes off as a very natural sense of humor. His charisma shines in this role. It's very short, on point. So, knowing that we were going to be reviewing the final come down and realizing that this also was early in his career, I was curious. It was like, oh, okay. This is probably not long after the Out of Towners. Let me see where he is in his walk at this moment, right? As an actor. And curiously, in this same year that this film comes out, 1972, produced, like you said, by his own hand, by his own production company that he put together, he also lands a role in Lady Sings the Blues.
Right.
Which comes out the same year.
Right.
And that is the movie that will make him
exactly
the leading man of the early 70s.
Right. That begins his Dark Gable.
Dark Gable. It is sex symbol. It is boom. He is set. That's Lady Sings the Blues. The final come down is Billy Dee Williams still trying to figure out his lane as an actor.
Yes.
In this role, which in this movie that ostensibly is about this shootout between this black militant group, that is coded as the Black Panthers.
Sure.
But not called the Black Panthers. And this, the police. Seemingly every policeman that has ever existed is in this shootout.
Sure.
And seemingly every black man in this film has a gun.
Oh yeah.
This is a
shootout.
This is a shootout. But in his role as the leader of this crew, as you mentioned, you open in media res, like basically in the shootout or in the beginning of the shootout, right? And he gets shot, and he spends a lot of this time trying to get connected with a doctor, trying to stay away from this hail of bullets all over the place. And in the midst of all of this, we see flashbacks which show us his relationship with everybody else in this in this organization, all of his friends, all of his sundry women accomplices, and kind of the backstory of how we got to this point.
Right.
And what you learn is that he is a man who, of 1972, a black man who is tired of, the foot on their neck, tired of having to beg, borrow, and steal for just pennies, tired of watching the black people everywhere, black women, black children, going with and without, having no avenue, no recourse for any upward mobility. And even though they try to be their own answer, being thwarted at every turn because the man has it in for the black man.
Right.
All of which is 100% true circa 1972, circa 2025. And it's all right there on the screen. Blatant, like in your face in this film. And Billy Dee Williams is trying to present that not in any even-handed type of way. He's just trying to throw it right there on the screen for you to see, This movie has a point of view.
Mm-hmm.
It wants to show you its point of view. It believes that you will share its point of view. And in doing so, it's a hard movie to watch because in the low budgetness of this, then you have to stick with what is real. And there's a lot of like real footage of people just living their lives trying to get by.
Right.
That becomes like, wow, this becomes like almost like fly on the wall of what was happening in 1972. It almost becomes like a little bit of a time capsule of that era. And that, you know, especially in 1972 when the whole blaxploitation thing is beginning to ramp up, that's a different image for you to wrestle with up there on that screen. And Billy Dee Williams as this, you know, charismatic, you know, leading man actor type delivering this message. I applaud his attempt. I don't know if he's the messenger we need for that message.
Okay.
At that time, he's trying, and I applaud him for doing it. But I don't know if it gets all the way there. It's a powerful film when you look at the messages that it wants to tell.
Right.
The story that it wants to tell. I also applaud it playing with the chronology the way that it does.
Sure.
Playing with time, playing with your expectation, talking in flashback. You know, you'll see him talk to one character and then it flashbacks to his relationship, how he met this character and how they got to this point. Not all white people in this film are the devil in this film. It tries to be a little even-handed in how its depiction of white people in this film. There are some white people, there are some white Jewish people who at least pay lip service to, hey, stop doing that to that man, stop doing that to that black woman. The lip service is there, right? And considering this is a very low budget film, and by low budget, this movie was made for $26,000.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
$15,000 of it was given by Roger Corman, which means that they raised $10,000.
Right.
So, and all of that money is on the screen.
Yeah.
Where is it on the screen? It is where, unfortunately, this movie falls apart. Because that story is very strong. But, as we mentioned, this is a shootout. It is a insane shootout. It is a 15-minute long shootout between all these black militant men and women.
Yeah.
Against the entire police force. And the money is on the police uniforms and the money is on the blood squibs in this movie. Because it is a blood all over the place. Is it well done? No. But they're black stuntmen on here, the Black Stuntmen Union, you know, volunteered their time for this film. Like, hey, Billy, we got you. And they are falling off of roofs. They are flipping out of windows. They're getting their work on in this film. It is not the most well choreographed, but it is bloody, and it's a lot. There also is a point in this film where Billy Dee Williams meets a young woman and returns home with this young woman. And then we are, given an elongated love scene in this movie.
Yeah.
And by love, I mean you may want to check the rating on this film.
Right.
Because it's extended, and while not being graphic,
I mean it's unexpectedly graphic considering what has come before the
It's, I guess I wouldn't say unexpectedly graphic. It's unexpectedly gratuitous, I would say.
Okay.
Because there's a certain there's nudity, male and female, and there's a certain level of nudity that if you're having a love scene, okay, you go with it. This is like,
I have to say it's so at certain points I really was like, are they actually are they having sex?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to think so.
But you have to ask.
You have to ask.
Right.
Cause
it's pretty.
And it's a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it. Mm-hmm. You know what we say about Claudine? There's a lot more of Billy Dee Williams than I thought I would see. And God bless that it's equal, it's judicial on both sides. But
we've now seen more of the cast of Star Wars naked than I had planned on.
Right. But I say all that to say in that the final come down is a movie that desperately wants to be about something. And I think it is about something, but I think its accesses get in the way. And ultimately, I found myself hard to connect with it. And I buried the lead. Dervell Martin is in this movie. Two Gun Dervell,
that's right.
in this movie.
That's right.
And I think he's having fun.
Look, goes out in a blaze of glory.
He goes out in a blaze of glory. He's got his leather on the whole movie. Mm-hmm. He's having fun. But ultimately, I just didn't have fun with the final come down.
I agree with a whole lot of what you said. I'll start with. It's funny. I just saw an interview with somebody. It was somebody who was talking about the nature of art and the problem with modern audiences. And he basically said, sometimes art doesn't make you feel good, and that's okay.
Exactly.
And I agree with you that this is not a fun film to watch, but I would argue that observation is a compliment. I think it's a raw film. In raw as in its construction, like you said, it's $26,000. Like, it's damn near guerrilla filmmaking.
Yep.
Like, if someone had told me this was a film, frankly, that came out of the LA Rebellion,
you would have believed it.
I would have believed it. Like, it does have that grittiness, but also for a couple of other reasons. Like you, I really admired the ambition of the storytelling. Like the fact that, as you said, so much of it is told in flashback. And even the parts that were awkward, dare I say amateurish, and didn't flow as smoothly as flashback needs to flow for it to be successful, I admired the attempt that Oscar Williams tried to do something different. It's once again, referencing Oscar Micheaux. Like the spirit of what Oscar Micheaux would do sometimes, very limited resources, but I'm trying to do a couple of things. And I like that. I also like the way this film, as you said, using the term snapshot, I feel like this film really captured, like the zeitgeist of this moment.
Yeah.
In a way that seemed real. Like, I'm getting to my main compliment in a moment, but I do think one of my ongoing critiques of most blaxploitation films as time goes on is that they seem like they were more interested in the veneer of this moment than what was actually happening at this moment. And whether we are talking about the scenes with the children, like there are two wonderful scenes with children that I thought were fantastic. Just the fact that they were there. There was a party. As someone who, I wasn't there, but it felt real in a way that the vast majority of films from the 70s, I don't think felt real. As far as this is a depiction, like you said, it's damn near documentary the way it's the footage is used.
The editing of it.
Speaking of which, something that, as you said, this film comes out in 1972. A year before this is, of course, the great Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song, which launches this whole shebang.
Yes.
And one of Melvin Van Peebles' critiques of blaxploitation was that, by and large, blaxploitation defanged the revolutionary spirit of Sweet Sweetback, where either, there's so many cool policemen during the 70s. Obviously Shaft and Cleopatra Jones and appropriately enough, because Raymond St. Jacques is in here, Gravedigger and Coffin Jones from the Chester Himes movie. So you had this co-option of the Black Power movement where, it was dudes with cool leather jackets and afros, but they're cops. Mm-hmm. So you have that part of the co-option, but then the other part is it's always Mr. Big. It's always a corrupt policeman. It's always this individualized sort of wrongdoing.
Yeah, instead of the system.
Instead of the system itself. And I thought this film, better than the vast majority of films in the 70s, really articulated that this is a systemic issue. Mm-hmm. You mentioned the white allyship that you see, where Billy Dee Williams' character, at one point, he's a college student, and he is talking to some white activists. And I loved the conversation, the fact that Billy Dee Williams said, as Black people, we don't have a choice. Like, you have a choice. Like, you've decided to be a part of this. We don't have that luxury. We're just part of it. And again, just this articulation of it, I thought, again, was admirable. Now, you are 100% right about Billy Dee Williams at the center of this. Billy Dee Williams, look, I think as an actor, I like Billy Dee Williams more than you. But that's just because you really like him that much at all. like I'm never going to say Billy Dee Williams is Charles Dutton. And certainly, I'm on record every time we watch it. I think Billy Dee Williams' lane is as this romantic lead. But Billy Dee Williams, and he's not a romantic lead, and as you acknowledge, this is very early in his career. Others, I don't think he has the heft to hold this thing together. Mm-hmm. And, the terrible thing about that is that we have yet another case in this film of a Chrysler 300 looking like a Phantom until a Phantom pulls up. Raymond St. Jacques.
Oh, boy.
I don't know I don't know what happened there. They told Raymond St. Jacques to shave his head and grow a beard. But my God, in 3 minutes, he takes over the entire film.
Yep.
There is a scene where all the brothers and the activists from all over the country have gathered to meet.
We got Chicago here.
And Raymond St. Jacques represents the New York brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Before he opens his mouth, the entire film shifts his way. And then he takes his glasses off and starts talking.
Yep.
And you know, when you look at the credits, it says, you know, special appearance by Raymond St. Jacques. So I assume they just couldn't afford to have him in the whole film. But I'd almost rather he wasn't in the film. The way he pulls away everything. But
he pulls focus, yeah.
He pulls focus. And I appreciate, much like I said, the fact that the film actually addresses these revolutionary concerns in a way that most of these 70s films didn't. I appreciate the fact that the shootout had it was a shootout. Like this was not Three the Hard Way, and it's cartoonish and nobody is cracking jokes. And like you said, people are getting shot in the back. Mm-hmm. Innocent people are getting shot. Women are getting shot. Like, this is an actual thing. So that even though, once again, I think you can't really make an argument around quality. Like, this is a very raw film. You know, you look at Oscar Williams' filmography, including Five on the Black Hand Side.
Yeah.
He did not do a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's not that seasoned of a director. And you know, any film where you know, as much as we all love him, but when you say who gave the best performance in the entire film and you point to D'Urville Martin, this is not in a
you probably
in a real, like, August Wilson did not lose sleep about this film. But I did. I ultimately admired the spirit of it. And I land on this film the way I land with the Micheaux films. And frankly, I think, considering Sweet Sweetback launched this whole thing, and I don't know if any film really served as something, you know, maybe, you know, maybe Killer of Sheep. But even Killer of Sheep, I think, is like, what, 81, 82?
Yeah.
Like, that's like 10 years.
It's way down the line.
But actually, in the 70s, I can't think of a more spiritual successor than this. Which, you know, even the notion of the quality of it and this sort of almost guerrilla filmmaking. I mean, hell, I'll use your argument, like even your argument about Sweet Sweetback, where Sweetback is almost like this sexual superhero. I mean, it's right there in the name. He got a sweet back. He has 2 love scenes, and one of them is pretty extensive, but I never got the sense he was this lavish play. Like, this is not Billy Dee Williams.
No, it's not.
Billy Dee Williams. No. So that even that, I think that this ends up doing better than Sweet Sweetback in that regard. So yeah, I ended up landing on, I didn't enjoy it, but I don't think it was meant to be enjoyed the way we're kind of talking about.
No, I don't think so either. But I do think that you're meant to, kind of rally around or feel some level of sympathy or empathy with Billy Dee's character in this film. And I think that for the most part, his character comes off as a jerk. Like, even before he get, like, there's one thing to be militant, but there's another thing to just be, like, angry all the damn time.
I mean, but I think the film makes the case that that why wouldn't he be angry all the time?
I don't know. I felt that there were moments, like there were scenes that they show him with his mom.
Mm-hmm.
They show and
Tough scenes
with his dad. That I thought he was maybe a little.
I think he's filled with bitterness. He's filled with anger.
Yeah.
But I think the film does a good job showing why.
There is a lot of explanation.
Right, like I didn't get the sense he was born an asshole.
Well, no one's born an asshole.
Well,
okay.
I'm not going to go that far. Slow down, Mr. Believing in Humanity. We're all good in our hearts.
Well, I think at least the first 10 seconds, I think we're all one and the same. After 10 seconds, after that first, all right, all bets are off. But before then, I think we're all,
Right,
you know,
right.
you know, it's even.
Well,
Let me put it this way. I didn't like him. I found it hard connecting with him.
I didn't like him either. But I guess my argument is that's the point.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think you were supposed. See, again, this is my argument that it's almost the anti-blaxploitation film. Like, I don't think this is a Calvin Lockhart character. Like, they didn't set out to make him the Richard Roundtree character.
right. But to be fair, this is 1972. Blaxploitation is probably just still ramping up. So they're still trying to find out what is and is not blaxploitation. I think you're saying this almost feels L.A. Rebellion is apt, because L.A. Rebellion, though it is like, you know, decidedly like towards the end,
Right. So, and it was a response.
but it was a response to the blaxploitation. So I think that is very apt for this. I think it coming off of Sweet's back is trying to find, okay, what are the stories that we want to tell? Taking advantage of the lane that was created by Melvin Van Peebles. I get that 100%. Billy putting his money where his mouth is, and producing this.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta back him on that. You know, I may not think much of him as an actor, but I've never had anything to say about him as a man. He seemed like a perfectly straightforward dude, as far as I know. So,
collect cookie jars.
So, all of that I want to champion for. I will say though, and not because of necessarily anything that he shows on the screen. Maybe it's because of the mythological character that we have created of him. There's a part of me that would have liked to see Dervell in his role, to see what Dervell could do, given the lead role to run with, because he pretty much is. I mean, like, I love him, but Dervell is pretty much given the same role in almost every movie.
Right. Basically a sidekick almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know? So there was a part of me watching this film, like, you know, like recasting it a little bit. But I say all that to say, and it is I don't think it is a well-made film, but I would recommend this film.
Right. You know, the bad thing is Raymond St. Jacques plays a similar role in Uptight.
Yes, he does.
Like, I realize what I really want is the late 60s, early 70s Raymond St. Jacques as the black militant.
With no hair.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Raymond St. Jacques, just another actor of the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
who just didn't get the opportunities.
It was just super crowded. It was just super and you know, and I know we're kind of, but now we're talking about Raymond St. Jacques. I think the other thing that happened with Raymond St. Jacques is he was kind of neither fish nor fowl.
What do you mean?
Like, he always had an edge to him, so he couldn't play that kind of post-civil rights, kind of straight-lace,
Okay.
Bill Cosby, Sidney Poitier role.
No.
He was a good-looking guy, but he wasn't like Calvin Lockhart, Richard Roundtree good-looking.
That quote-unquote classically.
Right, so he couldn't be in that lane. But he also wasn't slick enough
Yeah.
to be like in the, the slick. So, he always ends up, again, kind of in between the borders.
Yeah, and it's interesting you said that he's got that edge to him. He does have the edge to him, but it feels like it's an edge that is so sharp that it there's not two sides to it.
Right.
Because another actor from around this same time who has a lot of the same things that you just said, but could still find lanes on both sides of the blade was Moses Gunn.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's saying something, because Moses Gunn had that Negroid nose, like them flared nostrils. The fact that Moses Gunn did as well as he did,
Yes.
says something about his talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always felt like Raymond St. Jacques almost, like it seemed like he almost should have been in that Philip Morris lane, but he was just too.
Yeah.
Like he was too. Like he couldn't be on.
He's a little too uptight.
Right. But I would also recommend it.
And now you're saying Philip Morris. Do you mean Greg Morris?
I'm sorry, I meant Greg.
Greg Morris.
Yeah, Greg Morris.
Yeah. I know exactly who you were talking about.
Yeah, Greg Morris.
Daddy.
Yeah, Daddy. Right. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. I would also recommend this. Not only would I recommend this, I am conspiracy minded enough. I feel like this is a film that has frankly been suppressed. Like I feel like this.
Press. Interesting.
Dude, I mean, maybe the spook who sat by the door.
I was just about to say.
Like, this is actually a radical movie.
In my mind,
Right.
I was just about to say, like, this is a great double feature with the
Right.
Spook Who Sat by the
Again,
Door.
and I'm sort of paraphrasing Melvin Van Peebles. Like, so much of this 70s fare was kind of for the play. Like, we play acting rattle. Like, this film was really talking about revolutionary action.
It was.
And talking about the repercussions and the price that you paid. And, regardless of the quality, some might say that adds power to it. The fact that it doesn't have this slickness. And as you said, Roger Corman, for all Roger Corman, but Roger Corman was a radical creator.
He was.
So that, I would absolutely recommend this.
I wouldn't mind seeing this being revisited.
Me either. I wouldn't mind this being cleaned up. I wouldn't mind this getting the kind of treatment that we talk about some films.
Yeah.
Yeah, get it cleaned up, get a nice package for it. I would love to talk to Billy Dee Williams about this.
Yeah, Billy Dee, 88 years old. Let's talk to him about this. Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly. Hey, Mike Dennis, a real black.
Yeah.
You getting Ninja Man remade. You need to be working on the Final Come Down.
Final Come Down.
You heard it from the Micheaux Mission.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
But until Mike gets his act together, please go see the Final Come Down. It's available right there on YouTube. Free plug for free. Check it out. Before we tell you what we're going to be reviewing next week here on the Micheaux Mission, I invite you to follow the Micheaux Mission on the social media of your choice, whether that is Facebook, whether that is Instagram, whether that is Threads. We're up on Threads. You can follow us at Micheaux Mission. You can also email the Micheaux Mission at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUX, MISSION @gmail.com. You can find us on MicheauxMission.com. That's our website. 2 men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. You can hit the swag and find out all the cool swag that we have coming available for you from our good friends at T Public. I will give you a heads up though. August is the final month. Yes. The final month of our arrangement with T Public. We will be closing out that store at the end of August. But don't worry, we've got new swag coming your way in September. It's going to be an all-new Micheaux experience in September. Ew, I can't wait. The Micheaux Mission is also a proud member of The Podglomerate. ThePodglomerate.com. They make podcasts work, such as ours, which streams every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. live from Young Chunk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace. If you want to book yourself in one of the lovely studios, one of the lovely podcast homes that they have set up here at Young Chunk, then you need to go to youngchunk.com and look what they've got there. We've got Then is here. He is our producer. He's working. He's one of the many producers that they have hired in the wake of Dylan leaving. Then is here tonight. He's running the boards, doing a very admirable job. Then, shout out to you. Woo-hoo. Shout out to Ven. I believe Terry Boy will be here next week. I believe. There's so many Young Junk. There's a lot of Young Junkers running all over the place. All right. Next week here on the Micheaux Mission. Ooh, boy. Yes. We've got a doozy for you. We've got the first of a series of films. But it had to start with the first one. And we had to start with the film that actually made Lou Gossett Jr. a star. And that is the 80s Iron Eagle. Next week here on the Micheaux Mission. Why you laughing?
That's what made you just an officer and a gentleman is just
He's the Iron Eagle.
The Iron Eagle.
Lou Gossett Jr. Next week here on the Micheaux Mission. Until then, he's Vincent, I'm Len, and in parting, we say,
we'll see you when it's time to meet again.